People, what's going on?
Hey.
Guys, what's
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, yeah, we making history on the Dominant DNA podcast. It's episode 7. So we have the first queens on the show, and we got two generations of B More music history and its excellent history. So I like to thank both of y'all for being here.
Thank you
Absolutely.
for
Thank you
having
for
us.
having us.
No problem, no problem. So we gonna get right into it. Gotta give a salute to my man E Man on the boards. You
Hey,
know what I'm saying?
E-Man. E-Man, you will have.
Making it happen. He don't feel like talking right now. Um, so I wanna start. I've known you the longest,
Okay.
and you're the first generation.
Yes.
So I wanna start with you. So did music start with you at Randallstown?
No. I would say music started with me as a child, really, really small. When I was young, I had one of those grandmothers that people don't have anymore. If she was alive today, she'd be 101 years old. So we went to church 5 days a week.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we were in a small church.
Mm.
So when you go to a small church, everybody has to participate in the happenings of making church happen. So when they would have what is it? Children's Day,
Mm.
my grandmother would drag us up there because she knew that I naturally, when I was very small, would just make songs up.
Mm.
So, and I'm talking about small, like 2 years old. I just would make up a song. People would say, "Make a song up for me," and I would just make one up.
Can we toast to that?
Yeah,
Can we
absolutely.
toast to that? I definitely wasn't rapping at two.
I definitely. So I was the little girl where she would drag me and my sister to the microphone and say, "Sing,"
Mm.
and my sister would be shy, and I would just sing. So my father was a singer. He was in a band when he was younger, and I had the benefit of having a father who, no matter where you were,
Mm.
he would just break into song. Whether you be in the Macy's or a restaurant, it didn't matter.
Right.
So it's something I just kind of picked up from him. Just wanting, just expressing myself through song, and I did it from really young, and I made up songs from really young. So after that, I kind of went on to find a real love for it when I went to Old Court Middle School. I'm not sure if you remember Miss Schwartzman. Shout out to Miss Schwartzman. I don't know if she's even alive now, but she was a Playboy bunny in her day. But
Oh,
anyway,
for real?
yeah, she was. And she ended up being my music teacher. So she found the talent in me, and she would let me come in early in the morning, and she trained me on classical music. So I know how to read music, know how to write music.
Tough.
I know how to sing harmonies. I know how to sing classical music and things like that. Um, then after that, so in Randallstown, and honestly in high school, it kind of went dormant. I didn't do a whole lot with my music in high school. I thought I wanted to be in the beauty industry at that point in time, so my mind was elsewhere.
Right.
But that, what I like to call musical Tourette syndrome.
Mm.
It's that thing I got from my father to just make you break out into song
Mm-hmm.
for no reason. Is kind of what forced me to come back to music, because I would just break out into song just because I was happy or I had a song that I liked, and people would always hear me and say, "Hey, can you sing at my wedding? Can you sing at my funeral? Can you come sing on this hook? Can you?" So it's like the music kind of made me do it. If that
Gotcha.
makes sense.
Got you. Yeah.
And away we go.
So when did see? I don't know how many people know, but I know that you can rap too.
Yeah.
So when did that part of the music start for you?
When somebody said I couldn't.
Ah, can we toast to that?
Yes.
I knew
Yeah,
this
that's
was
like the most gangster shit
Yeah.
ever.
No, I literally, I just like music. I'm not a person that is going to say I like hip hop, I like R&B. I like music.
Right.
Because remember, when I was trained on classical music. So I will break out in a song from Oklahoma, and I just like all kinds of music. So because of that, of course, now don't get me wrong, I'm born 1978, which is the year that hip hop was born. So hip hop was actually born with me, and I watched it grow, and it is my first love, first and foremost. So I had a friend. I was actually in a group called Official Mob, and I had a friend who I was like, "Oh, I got some bars," and he said, "You ain't got no bars." He like, "Look, you are a singer. You stick to singing. That's what you do." So because he did that, it really kind of put the battery in my back to be like, "No, I'm gonna write some bars that,
Right.
and I'm gonna make you feel differently," and that's what I did.
Okay. Okay.
But singing is really my first love. But I just have bars because people say they don't expect that. So
Right.
that's why I bring the bars for that purpose only.
Cool. So, cause you do both as well.
Yes.
Um, you got a dope album on Spotify right now.
Yes, and everywhere else.
And Apple Music and Tidal and YouTube, every streaming service. Yeah.
So can you drop the info for the fans so they can go grab it? There's no excuses. It's on everything.
Yes.
Cause motherfuckers will be like I don't have that on my phone.
Yeah.
Like nah, and they putting all that shit on YouTube. Like
Yeah, and it's on YouTube
Cut it out.
too.
It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify, Apple Music,
Tidal.
anywhere, Bandcamp, any music stream site is on there.
yeah,
And it's under K. Rashawn
Okay, Rashawn, What Moves You In is the EP.
is the name of it.
yeah. I'm still undecided on what my favorite song on it is. Um, I think all around it might be Queens Get the Money.
That is the gentleman's favorite, right? You know that.
From a hip hop standpoint and from a concept standpoint, it's like that's like the total package. Cause I like how it's the hook in there, and I remember hearing Nas say that. You know what I mean? Like, and he probably not the only person to say like Queens Get the Money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's about Queens getting money, literally.
Right, because he was talking about Queens, New York.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
she flipped
I
that.
flipped it
Right.
around. It's Queens.
Indeed.
Yeah, she's I'm a lot of R&B with a little bit of hip hop, and she's a lot of hip hop with a little bit of R&B.
So, did it inspire you to see your mom doing music? Like, did that like encourage you to do it?
For sure. And on top of that, more so like the music she listened to. She listened to a lot of hip hop, a lot of R&B. So I grew up with that, and I grew up around her singing around the house. So it's like second nature as far as when it comes to me and what I do.
Yeah.
So it kind of came like well, I always wanted to do music, but her doing it as well and doing it around the house, it came second nature. And then I ended up around middle school really getting into it, started freestyling on a bus stop with my friends and stuff like that. And I was like, this is something I really want to do. Nicki Minaj came out, and when she came out with her stuff, her mixtape, I was on it. Like, I loved it. So that's what got me at first rapping. I didn't really think I wasn't too into the singing thing yet.
Okay.
Until around probably my 8th grade year, I was about to graduate. We had to sing at like the school recital. They wanted me to sing like Boys to Men for our graduation song. It's hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Yeah.
And I had to sing that, and I was just like, I could do this too. It wasn't until I really started working on the EP that I was like, let me just mix the two together. I
Right.
didn't know what direction I wanted to go yet, but I just decided, I was like, let me just combine them both.
Right. So what's coming up in the future for y'all? Are y'all working on a project or a song or anything together?
Project. I got a couple of songs done, but I'm trying to have something big this year. By the end of this year, come out. So stay tuned for that, everyone. I'm gonna have a nice project for everybody. It's in the works.
That's what's up. Let me toast to that.
Yeah.
I'll have a drink.
Toast to move making.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, and I gotta say something before when I talk about what I have going on, but it's really funny to me because we lost DMX today, so we gotta
Yeah.
put our glass in the air for DMX.
Condolences.
Condolences, rest in peace, King.
Prayers for the fam.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me because when you think of, like, she's talking about middle schoolers when she really got motivated with music. But it's funny because I never forget, for me personally, that when she was 1 year old, standing in her pamper in the middle of the room, I was playing Rough Riders anthem. And I tell her this story all the time. She's tired of it, I'm sure. But she was one and she had a pamper on, so and I'm cooking dinner. And I look over at this 1 year old baby, and DMX is saying, "First we gonna hit y'all niggas hard," and she's like this, like every time. And then when it remember me from up north, and she went off. So it's just funny to me because when she talk about what she listened to her whole life, when you think about your children, you think about the first song that was their song,
Right.
you know, where you liked it, yeah, but you know, oh, that's her song. It was DMX Rough Rider anthem. So I definitely wanted to give a shout out to DMX today, because she's loved DMX since a baby. But now if I want to think about what I have going on right now, so I'm now to a point where I'm starting to have people that are coming to me and they want me to do certain things.
Mhm.
But I feel like I lost my love for music about in 2018. Like I said, I was in a group called Official Mob, and I don't know if anybody else is used to having a group, but the main person in Official Mob, which was Dante Worthington, aka Frankie Hazel, I used to call my musical husband because together, like, I thought that he and I made the best music together. We just worked off of each other. So he passed away in 2018, which was really, really hard, and I haven't really wanted to write anything, sing anything. I haven't really been inspired by it since that happened.
Yeah.
But the music, as it always has, keeps calling me. So I have people that'll come, "I want you to do this project." She's built a studio in our house. So
Let's toast to that. Let's toast to that. Condolences to the family as
Yes.
well.
yeah. But she built a studio in the house, so it's like, and now people are like, "Oh, listen to this beat, send this beat. Can you think about a hook? Can you do an ad lib on this? I want you to do that." So it's just kind of pulling me back to it, and it's making me one, they're gonna force me to do their stuff,
Right.
and two, because I think at one point in time you even sent me a song, and I'm just like, I'm not in the headspace to write anything, so I'm trying to break that to get back in the headspace to start to write and things like that. So I've been trying to do that, but then also I'm really trying to work on right now starting a lifestyle channel, like a lifestyle YouTube channel, which will focus.
Gangster. I'm sorry.
You said it's expensive?
No, I said that's gangster.
Oh, right. I'm trying to really focus on really beauty, health, food, and travel.
Yeah.
So just, the things that make us happy, or if I would say my focus is really going to be on self-care, that's really going to be the focus of it. So I've been working out the kinks of that because you don't realize how much goes into it until you turn that camera on and watch it back, and you're like, "Oh, that looks ugly," or "the lighting's not right." So I'm working those things out, but that should be coming out this year.
That's what's up. Let's toast to that.
Yeah,
Let's toast
keep
to
an
that.
eye out for that. I already started the channel. It's called We Live from the Kitchen. So I'm gonna have to have you on my show as well, because I do want to have a focus on music. I never will forget about that. Music is definitely something that benefits all of us with self-care. So I want to have people that I know make good music come to the kitchen table and talk to me as well. So I'm gonna need you live in the kitchen.
I appreciate that. You know I'll be there.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
That'll be coming soon too. We got interviews coming. We're gonna be live in the kitchen. I might be cooking something to prepare for us to just sit down, chop it up. I'll interview you, and we can eat some good food too.
I'll definitely be there. No doubt. So, as far as what's going on in the world today, right? Um, I feel like it's definitely not over. There's still a lot that's left to be done, but you know, women are doing some incredible, like huge shit. You know what I mean?
Women are getting credit for doing
Yeah,
some
we doing
huge
credit.
shit.
We always was doing
We've
it.
been doing some huge shit.
Well, I'm saying as far as, and I see what you mean, but I'm saying as far as like financially, like ownership of shit,
Hmm.
it's you see a lot more of that nowadays, and that type of shit improves quality of life.
Absolutely.
And it's like for a long time women couldn't do that. You know what I mean? And I think that is true when they say that behind every strong man is a strong woman. I think in some situations it's actually more than one strong woman. It
Mm.
might One might be his mother,
Hmm.
sister, something like that, and then the woman that's his queen. You know what I mean? Um, so just from a woman's perspective,
Hmm.
how do you feel about the country, and like, is there anything that you like that's like good, and what would you like to change? What do you think still needs to be done?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's like super deep. So we could talk about that all day. Let me see if I can narrow something down. Okay, so I'll just speak about one thing because I could talk about this. We could be on here for the next 72 hours talking about all of those things I like, things I like to change, all of that. Um, so just to talk about what's going on currently, I'm obsessed with, well, my cousin is a judge. She just became a judge for the second time in Virginia,
Mm,
and I'm like so proud of her for that.
mm,
And I'm always been interested in the law.
right.
So one, she's the youngest female black judge
Let's hope
in the
that.
district court in
Let's hope that.
Virginia, and I think that's awesome.
Mm,
She's a judge. She can make great change. You know
right.
what I mean? That's the position. I think we have been the ones to set the table, supply the meal, clean up after, but never got a chance to sit down. And
Mm,
I see us sitting down at tables everywhere.
right.
She's a judge. That's my own family. We got a female vice president, and she's black. So the black thing and the woman thing is separate, very
Mm,
similar, but it's also two struggles that we have. So to have so many black women at the table is just amazing to me. I love that. I'm also obsessed with the George Floyd case right now.
mm,
And I love the fact that one, our community stepped up to really testify for him. And not the community meaning just the black community, the community of normal people,
right.
of all colors and ages and different jobs. They stepped up for something that was wrong.
Right.
Where a lot of people want to shy away from testifying. So just to have people in such a great abundance stepping up to try to make a difference in when they see wrongdoing, I think that's great. I love that that's happening.
Cool.
Now, do I not? And then I'm gonna let you give your. But then the last thing, the thing I want to change, something that I'm kind of like really disgusted by, is the more accomplished black women become, the further away from us it seems that our men go,
Mm,
and that's disheartening
mm,
because it is incredible to me that men are supposed to be our leaders and they place so much fault on us for
not everybody.
everything. Not
Not
everyone, not it, but as a whole, like black women are criticized for everything. We criticize the same men that'll have sex with you are the same men that will dog you out for having sex with them. And it's like, how can you lead me when you lead me to degradation and then dog me for that? You say, so to me, that absence of leadership responsibility is very disheartening and disgusting to me, because the leader's not allowed to blame the players. The leader has to take on the responsibility of the wins and the losses. And I believe that our black men in our community, not as a whole, but in great number, they have completely shunned their responsibilities. They feel very comfortable with blaming the ills of their lives and of the world on the women instead of taking the responsibility onto themselves. And that manifests itself in a million ways.
That's definitely deep. So what are your thoughts?
I think mine is definitely the same thing. I think that as far as like the good that comes out of it is, even with like music, a lot of women are taking over the industry. You know, like it used to be, even with rap, it used to be where men, that was only like a thing that men do, and it's like now women are being taken seriously in this rap industry, which I think we should. It's a whole bunch of talented women out there, so I'm glad that we finally have that stage. You know. As far as like the negative, I think I'm piggybacking off of her, and when I with the whole abuse that a lot of men do, but on top of that, like a lot of sexual stuff. I feel like a lot of women now are speaking out. In the past they couldn't, but it's a lot of women who's speaking out about being victims of different things, sexual assault, rape, everything, and it's just like now we finally have that stage to speak out, but it's sad to see how much it is. That's out there. It's a lot of victims who've experienced something. And me and mom was having a conversation in the car the other day about it. We were talking about how a lot of times most women have been sexually assaulted, whether they know it or not. She can explain it better than me, but it's just like that's truly sad, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah, that's definitely fucked up, and it's definitely going to affect the person in a negative way, like permanently.
Absolutely.
Permanently. So what do y'all think about, like, I've been saying for a minute, right? I would like to see how, like with the Million Man marches, you know what I mean? It was for our people to unite. I think that we need something like that for black men and black women to just say, like, look, you know, we've a lot of bad things have been done to each other, but in order for us to move forward as a people, like, we gotta move past that and try to unite. I feel like one of the things that's like probably the most crippling to things that's bad as far as the conditions for our people is how easy it has become to divide black families. So I feel like, and it's just me personally, because I watch a lot of Farrakhan, right?
So do I.
And I
Look,
really,
and
like,
they trying to get my man banned. So shout out to that.
And it ain't gonna happen.
Right.
It ain't gonna happen. But I think that he should be the leader. You know what I mean? And even if it's not, if it's not him, you know, speaking there or whatever, whoever he picks to speak, and you know the lessons they. What's up, brother? Yeah, my man Mellow P just walked in.
Hey, Mellow P.
Yeah, my podcast, my other podcast inspiration, yo. But I think Farrakhan should lead it, and it should be. My bad. And it should be, you know, a day of. I would call it like reconciliation, to try to move on and make things better in the future for future generations. Because as long as we're divided, I just feel like we're fucked.
Yeah. Well, see, and I agree with you to a degree. So we've had the Million Man March, we've had the Million Woman March, we've had the Million People March. And I want to say this, but I don't want to sound Kanye-ish in saying it, but I'm tired of marching. Like, I'm so tired of marching. I'm so tired of people marching and picketing and protesting. And it's sad to me. Of course, you can understand where the fear comes from, but it's sad to me that people watch the Black Panther Party create things that are still influential in the world today, like the WIC program. Everybody know about WIC, but what they don't know is that WIC was created by the Black Panther Party, and that's something that's still in place today. And of course, the Black Panther Party is not completely gone, but the uh, the influence that they had in the 1970s was destroyed by the people that was murdered for the cause, and that spirit seemed to die with a lot of those people. The Black Panther spirit died with the Huey Newtons and Fred Hamptons, and so that spirit to me kind of symbolized creating for ourselves.
Right.
And that's why I'm with you with the Farrakhan thing, because that's all he speaks about is creating for ourselves.
Longer than we've been alive.
Yes, absolutely. So the people that don't support that is frustrating to me, and the fact that that spirit is gone in so many of our people is sad, and it's crazy that we've been able to be so mentally manipulated into believing that others have way more control over us than they really do. Like, we really could keep our families together. We're constantly fed that the government does things to break our families apart by giving us welfare and things like that, for example. But I never had welfare, and I still raised 2 kids by myself. I didn't do it so I could get a welfare check. I did it because I had a man that wasn't shit. So, oh, excuse my language. I don't want to say that in front of her, and I generally wouldn't. But fact of the matter is, I didn't put somebody out of my hand. This wasn't a matter of Claudine. I don't know if you ever saw that movie Claudine with James Earl Jones and Diane Carroll, but it's really speaking about that, about how she was a woman, she had a good man, and he wanted to be there for her and help take care of her, but she really couldn't have him around because it would mess up her food stamps and her welfare check and her Section 8. So I think people kind of focus on that, but I know way too many black women who do it on their own that make too much money to get government assistance. So we not trying to hear that. It has to be something else, because now if you don't have the excuse of government assistance being the reason that the family is broke up, then what's your excuse? So we need to really get focused back on the fact of creating our own, having our own communities, rebuild. Like, if we build Black Wall Street and it burns to the ground, build it again.
Exactly.
We was just talking about that before y'all got here.
Right. I think you and I talked about it about a month or so ago.
We're gonna get into my favorite shit that you and I talked about in a minute. You gonna smoke?
Sure. I mean, it's only old dweeds for anybody that of anybody necessary can't watch me.
That shit is legal in Maryland. Get out your fucking feelings. You know what I mean? Take the stick out of your ass. Ain't that what Martin told them niggas? You be a better person if you smoke weed, you fuck. So, I'm sorry. I'm a cannabis advocate. So,
for many years.
Can we toast to that? So, how old are you?
I'm 23.
23. Okay. So, there's been a lot more wealth as far as our people are concerned, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm just give me a second because I'm trying to put the question together the best way that I can, right? So even with all of that wealth, like how you talked about the George Floyd situation, it's like, how does that make you feel as a young person, and as far as like the people, as far as the different so-called races of people, how it's all this diversity in America, but it's like what's being sold outside of the country is, and even inside of this motherfucker is, it's all equal and this is like the place to be. You see what I'm saying?
You ain't lying.
But it's like America can't hide the fact that if you're not white, like you're still not safe from the bullshit in 2021. Like when you saw those thugs, those animals and savages, right? That ran into the Capitol. Was that the wildest shit that you've ever seen, like from what's supposed to be, the civilized American people and all of that bullshit?
Not surprising because we see stuff all the time. There's so much stuff going on. I was just having a was it? I think you was in here having a conversation. I can't even remember. I might have been listening to it. It was a minute ago, but they basically broke down like how they're gonna always have someone who wants more power, and it's always gonna be between. It's always gonna be a rich, and it's always gonna be a poor, basically. So what they try to do is they try to categorize that by race. So they make it where they see us as the thugs, the people who are poor, and that we savages and all of that stuff, and then the white people are not. And it's crazy people all over the place. You hear people
Of all classes.
and
income.
always somebody doing something crazy, especially here. So it's just like, yeah, it's a lot of things, and we're not gonna downplay anything that goes on in like other places, third world countries and things like that. However, we definitely have a lot of crazy stuff that's been going on. I've seen constantly in the news.
Right. And
Can I speak on that Capitol thing though?
yeah, please do.
That's insanity to me.
Yeah.
Those
It's
fucking
absolute
savages.
insane. It's like when
Right.
you say that you see that and it's just like, oh, it's more people. No, it's the Capitol.
Right.
So if you kill a man for a $20 counterfeit bill, right? Of all those 6 people, I think, that died at the Capitol, all of them died from medical events with the exception of that one lady who was shot. Nobody else was shot. The other ones was trampled, heart attack, old people out there like, yeah, we're going in, and then they done had a heart attack or something crazy.
I hate niggers.
Yeah, these niggas, I can't believe it. And they done had a heart attack. But literally, they killed one person, right? You kill somebody who scaled a wall in tactical gear to break into the Capitol building so that they could kill our public officials. And one person dies, but you'll kill a man for a $20 counterfeit bill. You'll kill a little girl for a bottle of orange juice. You feel what I'm saying? So you'll have 6 cops out there and kill a kid for a toy gun. That's absolute insanity to me. And what it opened to my eyes, and I don't know if we want to say this on your podcast because it might cut it off, but to me, it's almost looking like the police thing is a secret society. Let me not say that. Because we definitely in this George Floyd situation, we've seen some good cops that look like they want to do good police work, and they thought what he did was disgusting, and he did wrong. That's not how we doing our jobs. I absolutely believe that there are some good cops, but I believe that it's a group of like, I don't know if it's KKK, Klansmen, Proud Boys, whatever the hell you want to put on them, and they got deep into that policing hundreds of years ago, and they have kept that fraternal order of police, of racism and killing and thuggery going forever. And you see it when you watch that Capitol, and everybody run up in there, and the only person that looks alarmed is the black cop. Everybody else that disappeared. Half of the people out there are law enforcement. like that to me showed that it seemed like it's some kind of secret like society of they the ones that's out. They were the ones out there.
But they making that shit not so secret, and they telling on each other. Now let me ask y'all this. I'm just asking you.
That's
right?
why all of them not bad, because some of them ain't in the mix.
But what I'm saying is this. That's delusional as fuck. Like, did y'all see that one of them, at least one of them had a cross out that bitch, and I'm sure they were gonna burn it, right? And they reading the Bible and praying to Jesus, but it's like, yo, you're praying to a black man. Like, what fucking stratosphere you in, motherfucker?
They'll never admit to that. It doesn't even matter if it say it in black and white in every book you can think of, skin like copper. I went and pulled a penny out and put it next to my skin, and it's almost identical.
Yeah.
So if a penny looked like me, who are they talking about? Because that's copper. So what you talking about? Who you talking about? They be like, no, yeah, the suntan. Like, literally, we would, no, Here go a picture of your Jesus up there. It was his blonde hair that was glowing. That's what was looking copper. Like, y'all just gonna change the words. That's why you ain't want us to read. That's the problem. Right. You ain't want us to be able to be like, nigga, you lying.
And that's Julius Caesar, the white Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Did they spoon feed niggas, or did you hear it with somebody else?
No, it's not Julius Caesar in the picture, but it's
Pope Alexander.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a famous painter painted this shit. Who's the painter that painted it? It's like famous.
A white boy.
It ain't Picasso, but it's one of them niggas.
I got do my genius.
Listen, we can pull it up. We can go in.
But can we go further into the delusion of how they do this? They do this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
They tell you that Jesus and God are all white people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they use the Bible to say that our ancestors was in the conditions that they was in because of a biblical curse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a lie. And it's like, yo, these motherfuckers actually think that like nothing is gonna happen for that shit. Yo, like,
no, but
I want to ask you something though.
What's
I
up?
don't have the mic on. It should be on. But like after Cain and Abel was fighting,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So Cain and Abel was like what the two brothers, right?
yeah.
yeah,
Adam and Eve had two sons, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So after they fought, and Cain killed Abel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why did Cain go to a city? How Cain wound up going to a city
With a bunch of other people, and
Right.
he's supposed to be the firstborn child.
Right. You feel me?
Well,
That's
all right.
why.
Can I give y'all my perspective? Because I don't even know who's gonna watch this, but we can go in. Listen.
Somebody gonna watch this motherfucker.
So I'll tell you the thing that, and I tell my daughters this all the time, so she probably sick of hearing it. If you read the story of the Bible, I'm a reader. I like to read books. You know what I'm saying? All of them. So it's still a story, as far as I'm concerned. Is it a historical story that's painting some historical events? Absolutely. Main focus of the book in Christianity, Jesus, right? So if you listen to everything that book say, because I got to my mom said I went to church once five days a week when I was a kid. We went to Bible study, real stuff back in the 80s, that real stuff. So you reading that. And I start thinking to myself, the one consistent thing that they want you to understand about Jesus more than anything is that he spoke in parables, which is just another word for metaphor, right? So you're not literally supposed, it's a manual for you to live by, but you're not literally supposed to take everything in that book as if it is a historical event. It's the lesson of the story that you're supposed to be learning, not so much taking it as a historical event. There was no burning bush. It was a situation that you couldn't ignore. That's what the burning bush is. Like somebody say, if it was a snake, it would have bit me, or whatever. It's trying to tell you that you couldn't even, if you walk outside and you see a bush burning, you can't ignore that. You gonna be like, what the hell? Or you see a bush on fire, but it's not burning. Because that's what it said. It's a bush on fire, but it's not burning. And it talks to me. That's not trying to tell you that it's a bush on fire that's not burning. It's trying to tell you, I couldn't ignore this shit. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that people try to sometimes just harp on the exacts of the message instead of trying to take in the message itself. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I had to start reading for myself.
And that's what it is. You have to.
Yeah.
More than anything, you gotta read it and interpret it for yourself and for your own life, because it's not for you to be in a cult-like manner of being able to say, I'm just going to worship in this way, and just think God's going to take care of everything, and I'm not supposed to be the king and the man and the God made in His image. Because if I'm made in His image, that means I'm a God too.
Psalms 82:6.
So I have to take all of the resources that I have and make this thing happen. And ultimately it's trying to tell you, you do the wrong shit though. Morally, if you fucked up, this way you could go.
Right. It's gonna come back to you.
Yeah. Do you know the reason why Nat King's revolt happened?
Nat Turner?
Nat Turner. I'm sorry. Nat Turner. I said Nat King.
That's what I was looking
Who
like.
is Nat
You
King?
just think about Nat King Cole, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. But you know the reason that Nat Turner's revolt happened?
I'm assuming because he got tired of being a slave and, saying fucked up shit happen to people.
Not
I know
quite.
he said he got a vision from the Lord, though.
Not quite. That's true too. But when you watch the movie, what happened was they wanted to use him to manipulate the Bible, because black people have been spiritual forever. So wanted to manipulate him and have him use the Bible to manipulate the people and teach them certain excerpts.
How to be good slaves.
Yeah, exactly. But what they did was they taught the man how to read.
Yeah.
And he actually read the book.
And got knowledge of self.
Instead of him saying, they say, go to chapter so-and-so and teach him this. Go
Fuck
to
that.
chapter so-and-so and teach him that. And that's how some people live. That's why people that sometimes are educated dummies is what I like to call them. You can pass a test and you can go to school, get a good grade, but you still stupid as fuck. Those are people that go and say, go read exit so-and-so to the people and teach them this. Go read this one. This is what's important to you. Read that part. Jump around.
Right.
But he had to know how to read the whole book. And been like, these white people got us fucked up.
Right.
They got us slam fucked up out here. And he got it together. So I think that his process was a lesson that people let go by. Because most people should know that. They tried to use him to be a preacher to control the slaves, and he read the book. Fucked all their heads up.
So, when you were going to school, did they teach you about Nat Turner?
I learned about Nat Turner a little. It was weird how I learned, and I think I learned it around the time I was really going to like the movies to see the movie with her. But I think they had something. You know how Google does like certain days where they're celebrating something. They have like a picture. They had like a picture of Nat
They
Turner,
didn't
and
celebrate that.
They had them up before on Google. It be changing.
White people.
did they show?
I guarantee you it wasn't for long. But I think is Google owned by non-white people?
I mean, they
No,
put in a lot of
Google,
stuff in
I don't
there.
know. Google is publicly owned first and foremost, but it's definitely some...
If you look on there, they
They ain't put... So what did they show? You know how they changed the... No, they ain't do that. I'm so...
Because
You know what
white
Nat
people
Turner
don't
is?
want us to know about that shit.
Yeah.
They don't want us
He
to know about
revolted
that.
and killed a bunch of masters at a bunch of plantations. They ain't celebrating that.
Can we toast to that? Let's toast to
They
that.
definitely,
see something
corporate
like
America
that.
ain't
Salute to
celebrating
God.
that.
It was something that made me click on it, and I ended up reading about him on Wikipedia.
Girl,
and
I probably
could've sworn
posted
it
that
was
on Facebook. You probably said click.
It could have been.
or something like, because Google definitely ain't celebrate that.
Yeah, when and salute to the whole movie, but the director of it, they actually brought up a charge that he actually beat.
The director? What you
Yeah,
talking
he
about?
had a charge. Pretty much from what I read about it, it sounded like a white girl said that he raped her. He beat the charge in court.
And then came out with that movie.
But they didn't bring that shit back up until he came out with that movie.
Oh, and
because
then they
if he,
trying to say
if
he was charged with this.
if he beat the charge, here's what I'm saying. Under American law,
Like R. Kelly?
you went to court, you went to trial, whoever, You see what I'm saying?
Like
as far
R.
as
Kelly?
the law is concerned.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, but like R. Kelly, he beat the charge and now he's sitting in jail for the charge.
He's in jail now. A lot of people say he should have been a long ass time ago.
He's in jail for what?
Fucking little girls.
That same one that he beat the charge for. Because everybody else was of legal sin. Let me tell you the thing. Yo, we don't want to talk about R. Kelly because that might turn your show off. But listen. The craziest shit to me about the R. Kelly thing is the fact that he seemed to be carding everybody after that. I think the nigga was like, what's the legal age here? Yeah, let me see your ID. He was making sure that even though he was inappropriate as fuck, that them bras was the right age, except for that one he peed on in that video. And she would never admit that it ever happened. So why is he sitting in jail? R. Kelly been in jail long as hell. He ain't went to trial at all. And he been in there for like 2 years. Why? What happened to due process and the speedy trial? Why he in jail?
I definitely feel like if he wasn't a black man, he wouldn't be treated the same.
Man, Elvis' wife was a straight child when he married her. Priscilla Presley, if you look up how old she was when she was dating Elvis Presley, she was a baby. She was like 13, 14, something like that. Completely illegal. And everybody acting like Elvis got a whole, his house is an amusement park? Greatest thing since Disney World?
But here's what I'm
Whole
going to say.
pedophile out here?
You're absolutely right. But hasn't it always been that whatever racist white people do there's an excuse that makes it acceptable. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, prime example, condolences to his family, and rest in peace to George Floyd, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all the other, people of color that just get murdered by police. Fuck it, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like in that situation, you actually had a lot of white people that was actually condoning that shit because of his criminal record. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like they actually tried to make it seem like because he had a criminal record of past shit that it was okay for them to for one person to really lynch him and then everybody to just let that shit happen.
He's a criminal. Yeah, like, he had to go. No, my thing is this. Let's forget about the past shit. That day, because I've been watching that trial waiting to see if they'll say that was a fake $20 bill. They found 2 $20 bills in the car. They ain't said the shit was fake. And the only thing that I've seen that said that it was an actual fake counterfeit bill in there was a website on the internet that's not real. It's like a gossip site. So other than that gossip site online, I've been watching that whole trial for the last 10 days, and they ain't said a damn thing about a counterfeit bill. But let's say it was. He got a whole fake 20. He went in the store and he tried to take a whole fake 20 and buy a whole fake pack of a whole real pack of cigarettes with this fake 20. So the fuck what? Right. He's supposed to die off a $20 bill that's fake? He could be actively committing a crime at this very moment. Forget a past. This moment he's committing a crime. He got a counterfeit $20 bill. And even if he do that, the man not supposed to die.
Right.
That's bottom line. That's the end of it. You got white people turn around and go in the church and shoot up a number of black people. And you take this bitch to Burger King after you catch him to make sure that he can have the meal that he chooses before he goes to jail. Because you gotta go, Tammy. But you gonna kill him over $20. That's not real.
Or how the guy came into the grocery store shooting everybody up, and they had him walking out, just arrested him. He walking away.
Right.
Unharmed.
What do you have to say? And this how we gonna end it. What is your message to young black people?
Be safe. That's my main thing. Just be safe. Let's all stick together at the end of the day, because we're gonna always have to. You're driving in your car. You're gonna always be scared if it's a cop behind you trying to avoid the police. don't even know at this point. Like even for me, I feel uncomfortable when I think about crazy situations. I'm like, can I even call the cops? Like they be bugging too. So it's just like everyone be safe, everybody stick together, and always if you get pulled over, go on live, record it, have somebody with you at all times because it's a war low key going on.
You got anything else to say to the people?
To the people, food, clothing, shelter, healthcare, and education.
Ooh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all
'Cause
I'm saying.
something
Food,
just came back to me.
clothing, shelter, healthcare, and education. Think of how you can give back to one of those sources because that's how we start to build a community of our own.
You had a brilliant idea when you talked about it being mandatory for like owners of corporations to have to share a portion of their profits amongst
Absolutely.
their employees, and that shit should be law, and that
Yeah.
shit is dope.
I think as owners,
That shit is dope. I
you'll work
concur.
hard as hell and make sure that you got good customer service for a place that you know that when that profit comes in, you sharing it. I think all businesses should have profit sharing with their employees.
Yeah.
Absolutely, equal partnership for everybody.
Now, if you ran for president or some shit, like that would make me vote for you. Like, okay, she's talking some gangster shit right now.
I mean, they be running. They be like 65 and 70 years old. You never know where I'm gonna be then.
Right.
We already got a vice president,
Right.
so hey.
So, I just want to thank everybody
Thank you for having us again.
for clicking that
Yes.
button on your phone this evening. We
Oh,
had
this is live?
Is it? I don't know.
I didn't know.
Oh, you need to let Kay spit some bars in remembrance of DMX.
condolences to his family.
Nah.
Yes. Toast to that.
Yeah.
Hey, you can go ahead and
Oh, you want me to spit?
Oh.
All right, let's go. Let's run it then.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
So this song is called. I mean, do it have anything to do with what we was talking
Well,
about?
okay. I don't know how much time we have, right? But I think this is pretty cool. We had the pandemic over the last year. And because of that, she got the luxury of having time off. Didn't even lose her job, working for a good company. We're not going to spit their name.
It's a great company.
But
I sat a lot for a while, just kind of, frustrated with just my work situation and like things like that. So
and she built a studio in the house.
built the studio in the house, and I just was writing,
That's what's up.
and I write a lot of like little fun songs and stuff like that. But I really wanted to get serious with this one and talk about something that's so like deep that goes through a lot of people here who works a 9 to 5. So I named this one 9 to 5,
And just hear the song.
and we about to acapella.
But basically, this song was birthed in the moment of the studio being built in the house because she
Yeah.
had a break. Okay.
Okay. But it goes like, one day they love me, one day they hate
But
me.
either way, I still got paid.
They bring me down, then they say that I'm lovely.
But either way, I still got paid.
They shoot me down, then they say that they need
But
me.
either way, I still feel pain.
Respect me for all my flaws and all.
'Cause if not, then I can't stay. So I shine bright like it's daytime. But when I'm here, feel like moonlight. Had the time to take a break. Realize I'm better if I don't stay. Heard that news through the grapevine. That I'm doing better without your time. At the point I can't complain. Finally got you out my way. Finally got you out my way.
Yeah, break. I finally got a break from all the troubles that I face every day in this place. It's time to get to work. I'd rather just be focused on my craft, get that bag. I'm finally in that headspace. Niggas had to use the opportunities to sit back, relax, and draw a map on where I'm trying to go. I'm shooting for the stars. I'll take a risk and I'll go far. Set a bar. In fact, I'm dodging all the curves you throw. I'm tired of feeling trapped like I would never reach my goals. That ain't cold. Them excuses that I had is getting old. It's time to reach the height that I always dreamt of reaching. I'm preaching, cause when I go, just know I'm finally leaving. Yeah, the sacrifices that I made in the past set aside. My intentions is to grow and never hide. Got the clarity when I put my pride aside. I told my job it's time to go. I had to focus, take some time. Taking mental breaks from you should never be a crime. If it is, I'd rather bounce and do that something on the side. I ain't shedding tears for no slave job. I'm fine, but when I go, don't call me begging when before it was all lies. Broken promises, it ruined my peace of mind and try to make me feel secure with the base and 9 to 5s. But I'm weighing all my options cause I know that I'll be fine. I'm finna cop an LLC, boss up, just recognize. And this applies to all the people who said I wouldn't finish. And now they see me working hard and now the project's finished. Could conquer anything I want because I had a vision. And either way, I'm getting paid. I count in triple digits. Hey, Rashawn.
One day they love me, one day they hate
But
me.
either way, I still got paid.
They break me down, then they say that they love
But
me.
either way, I still got paid.
They shoot me down, then they say that they love
But either
me.
way, I still feel pain.
Accept me for all my flaws and
But
all.
tonight, boy, I can't stay.
So I shine bright like it's daytime. But when I'm here, feel like moonlight. Had the time to take a break. Realize I'm better if I don't stay. Heard that news through the grapevine that I'm doing better without your time. At the point I can't complain. Finally got you out my way.
Thank you.
Got me about to cry in this motherfucker. That shit
And
was
that's the
dope.
real stuff. Like, that's what a lot of people go through. So
Yeah.
it was just like, for me at that point, it was like my little breaking point a little bit. I was frustrated. I was like, I don't know what I want to do with life, but I know I gotta figure it out. I need some time to myself, figure out what I want to
And
do.
you like Queens Get the Money, but that's my favorite song, as you can see.
Yeah. It's a lot of dope shit on that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of dope shit on that. It's still debatable for me.
Yeah. But yes, for sure. Everyone, again, check out my EP, What Moves You In, on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, everywhere, all streaming services. And
And look out for We Live from the Kitchen.
Yes,
You can
Live
go
from the
there and
Kitchen.
check out a performance from myself
And that good
and official
eating.
and Rel from Official Mob.
Yeah, I definitely need to book my shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We Live from the Kitchen.
I
and the
appreciate
food
y'all.
good. I already got the taste tested.
Peace and love.
Peace.
Thanks for coming out.